Okay, so a week ago or so, I made a video showing, how to do the actual Cayo Perico heist itself. I should have shown the setups first because there is much easier ways to do the setups than what a lot of people know about. At least for me, I do my own method of setups, taking bits and pieces from people's information that I've seen on the internet, through YouTube or whatever other gaming websites. Anyway, okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you go into your interaction menu. For me, it's M on the keyboard because I play on PC. Go to your preferences and then check your spawn location and make sure it's set to the Kasaka. You definitely want to do that first because that's important during this. Anyway, and then you come up to here, obviously, and you set up the Cayo Perico heist. Okay, cost $100,000, but you definitely make that money back. So the first thing you got to do is gather intel, obviously. Okay, and so it's saying go to Lagos and Kudo, or however you pronounce it. So the first thing you want to do is come over here and basically fast travel to the location you want to go to. So you can see on the mini map down there, you basically just want to find the closest location to where you need to pick up the Vellum aircraft. For me, I'm going to choose right here. It's just as close as this other one at the bottom, but anyway, it's where I'm going to go. Saves you a lot of time from having to, actually fly there, drive there, or whatever. Might as well take the sub there and make it a lot quicker. Sorry, I keep clearing my throat, but the air conditioning's messing with my sinuses today. But anyway, so once you get there, I use the Sparrow for the first couple of things I do. I do have the Oppressor Mark II. I use it later. Some people say that the Sparrow is quicker. For me, the Sparrow is quicker at the beginning, and then later on it's quicker and easier for me to use the Oppressor. I'll show you that as we get to it. So anyway, if you don't have the Sparrow, you definitely want to get the Sparrow, because of the fact that without the Sparrow, you're doing a lot of swimming or boating. And one thing I've been doing here lately is, since I do have the missiles, they're not necessary for this, but just to play around, I've been basically firing a missile at the people who are going to be fighting me when I get to the location. I don't always manage to succeed doing this, but I'm going to try, and we'll see what happens here. So let's see here. It's over this way somewhere. I'm trying to follow it on the mini map here so I can make sure I go to the right location. It's going to be right down here. I don't aim for the aircraft, I aim for the truck. And that wipes out most of the guys. There will probably be like one guy left by the time I get there. That's something you don't have to do. I just do for the fun of it. Okay, and then like I said, you want to make sure you have the Sparrow. So let's run back here to the moon pool and grab the Sparrow helicopter. It is one of the fastest helicopters in the game, so there's that. Some people, like I said, argue back and forth between what's faster, the Sparrow or the Oppressor. Well, since you can't carry the Oppressor on the Kasaka, I figure, you might as well just use it later or whatever. But anyways, it's a little hazy out here today. Okay, or tonight, whatever. So we're going to fly over here just past my bunker that I own. And let's see here. I play on keyboard. A lot of people use controller over PC, and I can and do. I have a controller. But honestly, I mean, I'm 55 years old. I've been playing games for a long time. I learned how to play with a keyboard long before controllers could really be connected to PCs. I remember when it was just joysticks. And obviously, a joystick wouldn't work on most games, except for like really old games like Pac-Man or something. Anyway, I come out here, there is a guy over here, I can see his legs right under here. So even just to avoid confrontation, I just take him out from underneath of it. Then jump in the Vellum here. And as you can see, that missile I shot caused all kinds of havoc, killed all the other guys, and took out their SUV. There's a glitch with the bug on the driver's side of the aircraft. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't shut. And sometimes the one on the passenger side doesn't shut. Don't ask me why. It's a Rockstar thing. Pull up your wheels because it gives you more velocity for climbing up these mountains to be able to get there. And I'll My air conditioner just kicked on. I didn't expect that. I'll turn that off here in just a second to hopefully so you can hear me better. I got to get over this mountain before I attempt to do that, though. Not for sure if you guys can hear the air conditioner or not, but I can. And I don't want it to bleed through, so. Okay, so we're flying south towards Cayo Perico. Let me pull up my phone app here and shut my air conditioner off. It's actually cool enough in here, I don't need it right now anyway. There we go. Okay, air conditioner's off. Okay, much quieter. Okay, I myself like to usually actually fly closer to the ground. I was getting up high there because I needed to be able to shut my air conditioner off without wrecking. But to me, it seems like if you fly closer to the ground, you get there quicker. I don't know if that's true or not. I think it is to me, myself personally. I think especially if you're flying from the very top of the map, once you get over the mountains, I've come down to at least this height here, this level here or whatever of height. Because it seems like it goes faster if you're lower. I don't know why. Maybe it's because you're not taking as much time to climb real high into the sky or something. I'm not for sure. Or maybe it's just a illusionary kind of thing. I don't know. But to me, it just seems to go quicker if you fly lower. See what I mean about how that door stays open? There's not really, as far as I know, a way to get that door to shut. It's not always that way. Sometimes the door is shut. Sometimes it's not. Like I said, it's a Rockstar glitch thing that they don't seem to be caring too much about. I don't think they're really that worried about little bugs like that anymore like they used to be. Probably because GTA 6 is supposed to come out next May, I believe it is. Which I can't wait for that. I'm hoping they don't make it a pay-to-play kind of game, though, because the GTA Plus thing on here, to me, that's just wrong. To me, once you pay for a game, you should be done with it. I mean, you pay for the internet, you pay for the game, you shouldn't have to pay for anything else. And to me, it also gives people an unfair advantage. I've never once bought a shark card. Never. And I'm level 600. I earned every level I had. Every dime I've gotten in this game, I've earned. I've never bought a shark card. I refuse to. Once I pay 60 to 70 or $80 for a game, I'm not ever spending another dime on that game. So anyway, once we get to Cayo Perico, which we're pulling up there now, as soon as it gets out of the black screen loading screen, then I will show you my method, because this mission right here is called Gather Intel, and that's exactly what I do. I look and see what all there is to get for secondary loot, and then of course I go scope out the tower like it tells you to. Man, this guy right here gets on my nerves. I wish I could shoot him in the face. Just to get him out of the way. I just hate how smart aleck he talks. I can't stand condescending people, and he's extremely condescending. Just the tone of his voice. Go on, just makes me want to shoot him. Anyway, first thing I do is turn around and go right back into this hangar right here, because 99% of the time I can get all the loot I need out of this hangar. Not always, but 99% of the time. If not, there's always across the street. I can go over there and get stuff. But okay, so we got weed and cash. Those are the second and third highest paying things that you can get over in this area. The second and third. The first highest one is coke, so I'm going to go up here and see what happens to be upstairs, because those two things alone will not fill up my bag. And if you want to get the elite challenge, you have to fill up the bag. Okay, so there's two things of weed up here. So between those two things of weed and the one at the bottom or whatever, I'll definitely have enough to fill up my loot bag. So I'm not even going to worry about going across the street. But I'm going to run over there anyway just to show you guys what I'm talking about in case you haven't done this before or you happen to be a newbie at it or something. You can run over here across the street. This over here during the heist itself, it's a little more difficult to achieve this stuff because sometimes the guy on the other side can hear you coming into here. See, now there's two things of weed over here too. If there was cocaine over here, I would be half tempted to come over here and get it because it is more valuable, but not enough to really worry about too much. But it's just weed, and there's plenty of it over in the hangar, so I'm just going to do that. Those guys there, don't matter if they see you. That one guy back there at the white dot, though, you definitely don't want him to see it. Okay, I always take the motorcycle. Easiest way, I'm sure most people do. I turn right after this second post. I come up in here, I go between these trees, I turn just a little left, because otherwise that bush right there will knock you off the bike. And then after that, you're pretty much free all the way. I go just to the right of this broken down building right here. And then I come up here and I basically head right toward that palm tree, go just a little bit to the left of it, and then bam, you're down here on the road. Come around this direction, you ain't got to worry about any cameras or people right through here. But once you get past this, okay, sometimes there's a guy up here. There's a guy up there directly ahead of me. You can see his radar cone in front of him. Because of that, I'm going to turn to the right here. If he wasn't there, I could just take the road, but because he is there, I'm going to turn to the right. And I'm going to follow this hillside as close to the hill as I can until I get past that guy's cone of radar. And then if nobody's looking this direction, I just come straight over here. Oops, hit a rock. And you climb up this hill. Go kind of slowly. You don't want to go real fast. Come over that hill. And once you get past there, none of those guys will see you whatsoever. I've never gotten caught there, not once. So I'm assuming it's pretty hard to get caught right there. Come up this hill. Stay right in the middle of this because you don't want to get too far to the left or you'll go over the hillside. You don't want to go too far to the right. Or that car right there will see you and you don't want him to see you. Okay, go right through here. Avoid all these guys, turn to the right here, come up this hill, go through these fields, and I always go through this second tent or whatever you want to call it right here. I turn to the right, go just to the right of the wood pile, and then I basically go over here and look to the left a little bit, and you'll see this yellow pipe or green pipe, whatever it is, going through right here. I always follow that, and then go in between these trees right here, and then that way I avoid all the, bumps. There's like a fence thing over there that'll knock you off the bike if you're not careful. Come through here, and then basically once you get here, you're home free. You just climb up this hill, ooh, I almost got knocked off. Go right up to the communications tower, and since there's not a red dot, there's no guard at the bottom of the tower. When there's no guard at the bottom of the tower, that means that the device you have to hack is actually on ground level. And there it is straight across from us. Otherwise, if there is a guard on the other side of the building right in front of me, if there's a guard there, then inevitably always you'll have to go up to the top to find this signal box. Okay, hacking the signal box is actually very easy. When I first started playing this mission, I was like, what do I do here? But as you can see, okay, so over to the right, where you see the square with one line through it, that just means like ×1. The X means ×10. And the one below it with the two sideways slashes through the horizontal line, that's ×2. So we need 59. So obviously you don't want 9 times 10 because that'd be 90. So what we do is you go down to 4, you go to ×10, and as you can see the result is 40. So you get 40 out of that. Then you go to 9, and if you go 9 times 2, that brings you up to 58. That's what you want. This one's real easy. It's just straight across from each other. And then 1 times 1 is 1, so it brings you to 59. Boom, you're done. It's real easy. I didn't know it was multiplication at first. I just was guessing the first couple of times I played it till I figured it out. But anyway, and then you bring up your phone. And you go to this little hacking thing right there. You bring that up. And then I just basically spam through till I get to the basement. I don't worry about the panther cage or the courtyard or anything like that because none of that matters. Get to the basement. And it takes me a second because I have to roll the mouse wheel to the left here. Okay, so it's Sensimita Tequila, which is one of the lowest paying things. But when you play this mission a lot, you're always going to get the lower paying items. Either the Sensimita Tequila, the bearer bonds or whatever they are, or sometimes the ruby necklace. But you only get the pink diamond, which is the highest paying one, if you only play this like once a week or something like that. If you play it more than that, you're going to get one of the cheaper ones. So once you've scoped that out, you can go through and, some people go look at the paintings. I never go into this building whatsoever, and there's nothing there anyway. You can go to the office cam and you can look over here. Those two paintings over there don't matter. This painting right there, now see, there's a painting I could actually get if I wanted to, but I don't know how much that adds to my bag. So just to be on the safe side, I usually just fill up my bag with either coke, weed, or money. I don't worry too much about the paintings. And you can actually hit to the next office cam, and there's usually another painting over there if there is one. And nope, it's empty, so it doesn't matter. Once you do that, you hit escape, if you're on keyboard, obviously. And then once you get to here and it says that you have scoped the minimum requirement, just hit escape. And like I said, make sure that your spawn point is set to Kasaka for when you respawn or whatever. And then that way you can just go to online, go down to find new session, And then I, of course, do invite only. I don't like dealing with the people that in the public lobbies because they're all jerks and they just want to kill you and murder you. So I just do invite only. That way I know I'm going to get the money I want to make. Now, this is so much easier because it used to be, I used to parachute off the island, swim to wherever, go to the airport, fly all the way back. It's a pain in the ass and it takes you forever. Why not just respawn to back to your Kasaka? So much easier, so much faster, saves you a ton of time. I was so glad when I learned that one. Anyway, it spawns you right back on the submarine, back in your bed. You basically just go right back up to the planning board and start on the next one. And come up here. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm an old man. I don't make these gaming videos all the time, so you have to pardon me for not being an expert, video content creator. Anyway, come to here. And then you go over to prep. I always do the approach vehicle next. Long fin. Always go for the long fin boat. And right now it's telling me it's at the La Mesa police station. Okay, so we're going to use the Sparrow once again. The Sparrow's automatically respawned right into the Kasaka moon pool. Get in it. And this will basically be almost the last time that I basically use the Sparrow. It's the last mission I use it completely on, that's for sure. And we're going to be flying to the La Mesa police station. Right now, we're obviously off the docks. Okay. Eventually, I'll have the Kasaka spawn at the Vespucci Beach because it seems to be a lot closer to a lot of the things. Some people think the dock is, and the dock is for certain ones, like probably this one. But for other ones, Vespucci Beach is actually a lot closer. It's kind of a personal preference thing, honestly. But for this mission, you definitely, you can get the trucks, the semi trucks that whatever his name is suggests to you. I prefer to use the Phantom Wedge is what it's called. Okay, so down there is where we got to go. We got to get that trailer down there with the boat on it. So I always land somewhere on this bridge, and then I pull in and spawn the Phantom Wedge. And you bring up your interaction menu, you go to manage vehicles, you go to request special vehicle, you find the Phantom Wedge, hit enter. And then I always make sure I'm facing away from the direction I want to go, or at least looking the different direction, because it'll spawn it in the, whatever you spawn, it will spawn in the opposite direction of where you're looking. Man, my guy does not want to get in this truck today. Okay. And then this location is actually one of the trickier locations just because of the logistics of how you pull in there. Get out of my way, guys. I always just back up all the way there. I used to drive a real truck, so I'm fairly good at backing up. Years and years ago. And anyway, but this location's a little tricky because of these concrete barriers right here. You got to kind of wedge in between them a little bit. Inevitably, I end up hitting one usually like that right there. Anyway, just back up, run over as many of these guys as you can. It doesn't matter. And just basically pull right up to the trailer. Oh, let's go. Oh, and I almost missed it. Okay, I got it. And then you just basically pull out of here. Don't worry about getting shot a few times. It shouldn't kill you unless you're an idiot and sit there for a long time. Or you hit the wall like I just did. Anyway, pull away from it. Kind of come down this direction. I usually drive across this bridge first. Back right by the Sparrow helicopter. And once you get past the bridge, just come to a stop. Yeah, I'm going to get past these cops a little bit real quick. Okay. Stop. Get out of the truck. You can use whatever explosive device you want. I usually use a grenade just because. And then run over here. Blow yourself up. Because if you blow yourself up, the truck will stay right there and won't despawn. However, if the cops kill you, your Phantom Wedge semi will actually go back away, and then you've got to recall it back again. So it put me kind of far away from the truck. But the cool thing is the cops would be on me. If I didn't kill myself, the cops would be on me the entire time, and I'd be driving for God knows how long, trying to lose the cops. Whereas if you kill yourself and then come back to the truck, the cops are completely off of you. You can drive in nice, peaceful harmony all the way to where you got to go. So now that I'm back in the truck, as you can see, there's no cops on me because I killed myself, and it doesn't like take away from your points or your lives or your money or anything like that to do it. So why not do it the easy way and make it quicker and everything else? Plus, it's really fun to drive this truck and just hit as many cars as you possibly can. If you flip them up in the air high enough, sometimes they blow up. That's always fun. Anyway, come through here. Be careful, otherwise you could end up wrecking on this bridge, and you definitely don't want to end up on the water down there, because I have done that before. Boy, it's all causing all kinds of havoc here. Okay. Come down here, and this semi's in my way. Get out of my way. Anyway, you pull through here, right here, through this gate. Get that truck out of my way. You got to bump the gate for some odd reason, and then once you bump it, it'll start opening. Pull through here, and then this is also where you, once again, it's good to have the spawn point for when you load into a new session set to your Kasaka, because as soon as it comes up saying heist prep complete, you can hit escape, go to your where you find new session again, go back to invite only, and boom, you'll respawn right back to your Kasaka. You don't have to drive back there, fly back there, call in any vehicles from a mechanic or anything like that. Boom, you're right back at the Kasaka, and it's down by the docks again. And then once again, you just go right up to your planning screen and start on the next mission. It makes it so much easier. Once I found out you could do all that, man, it cut like literally an hour or more off of the time of it. Now this one here is where I'm going to be getting my weapons loadout. I always go for the what they call the crack shot one, because I really like the sniper rifle and I really like the AP pistol. So I go to crack shot. You don't want to get Merryweather HQ. If it does give you Merryweather HQ, then you definitely would want to use your missiles to skip that one. And of course it did. It went to Merryweather. It does that quite often. So if you have the missiles, if you don't have the missiles, you can always just find a new session again. Sometimes you have to do it once or twice, and it will give you another location other than the Merryweather HQ to get your weapons loadout. But if you have the missile, these missiles built into your sub, which I think cost like $1.5 million or something like that, you can simply do this. You use your missile, come over here to this building right here, and somewhere on this building will be the helicopter you're supposed to follow. Just shoot it. It says heist prep failed. It doesn't hurt anything for the mission whatsoever. You stand your guy back up again, come back over to the planning board, and hope it gives you something else. If it gives you Merryweather again, which sometimes it does, yep, and it did. Of course it's going to do that. But that's cool, though. Come back over here. You got a second missile battalion. So while the other one's loading, this one's already ready to go. So you sit down in the second one. And I don't think I've ever had to go past 2 times. But anyway, you launch another guided missile. And once again, you blow up the helicopter. And I mean, some people's like, oh, I just do it, you know, whatever, I just do the mission. But the thing is if you do that mission, you have to follow that helicopter for like 10 or 15 minutes. You know, it's like 7 or 8 minutes followed up, 7 or 8 minutes back. It's just ridiculously long and needlessly long. Whereas it takes just a few seconds to blow it up and come back and get a new, you know, location to get the weapons loaded out. And this time it's 707 Vespucci. Perfect. That's like the shortest skyscraper there is. Okay, now this is where I'll actually be switching over. I'm going to use the Sparrow to get over to land, and then I'm going to switch over to the Oppressor Mark II, because man, that thing's expensive to buy when you first get it, but it makes everything so much easier for getting on the buildings, and especially for getting away from the helicopters that come after you grab the items that you need to complete this mission. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly right over here, and you don't want to try to call in the Oppressor too soon. Like if I was to land on this road right here, it's going to spawn it way ahead. But if I come right here to like this little triangle of concrete barriers you can see right below me, not quite a triangle, but you see what I'm saying. If you come to right here, you can actually get it to spawn pretty close to right here, which makes it pretty easy. So I basically just land here, and then once I get out, I face away from the direction that I want it to spawn. Whoops, that's the wrong menu. Pull up your phone, go to your contacts, go to your mechanic, and yes, I know I have way too many contacts on here, but I don't feel like editing it, and I like having the options of all the contacts. Anyway, so I pull up the Oppressor, and like I said, it's going to spawn in the direction I'm not looking, or at least camera-wise, and there it is. So it spawned over here. I grab it because this just makes the rest of this so much easier for me anyway. And you're going to go to 707 Vespucci. Now here's a little trick. If you look at the mini map down there, it's kind of zoomed in a little bit. If you zoom it out, For me, it's the Z key. I don't know what it would be on other systems or other keyboard layouts, but for me, that's what it is. And then when you go back down to a smaller mini map, it's not zoomed in so close, so you can actually see better where you're going. 707 Vespucci's right over here. Also, by the way, if you hit the emergency brake button, it folds in those back wings and you actually go like 20 mile an hour faster. You can't really tell it big time, but it does make a difference in the long run, especially if you're in a hurry. Okay, so this is the building we're going to be landing on right here. And I always kind of try to set my vehicle to where it's a quick takeoff. Okay. So I'm going to park it right there. Okay, now here's something extra I do too. I pull up my menu. If you have it, the stone hatchet is awesome. Because once you have the stone hatchet in your hand, you can actually get a rage, what do they call it? Rage mode, rampage mode, whatever it is. And you can go through and just kill all the guys and basically be invincible. Unless it glitches and goes from the stone hatchet to a gun, which it has done on me before. But most of the time it doesn't do that. But basically you want to run in here real quick. You want to focus on this guy and hit him with the hatchet. And as soon as you do, bam, you go into rage mode, rampage mode, whatever they call it. You start hacking these guys. And as long as you hack one every so many seconds or whatever, it'll stay in rampage mode. And as you can see, I'm getting hit by all kinds of bullets, but it's not really hurting me. If you notice my green health bar down there, it's not going down. Well, of course, I missed the guy the first time somehow. But anyway, come through here, and like I said, these guys are shooting the hell out of me, but it's not really damaging me much because I'm in that rampage mode. If it is even damaging me at all. Now I go through here. I've also got this on hard mode right now because I didn't wait extra long for the setup to be ready. So there's extra guys in here for me, but it doesn't matter. It's still easy. Anyway, then I take the hatchet out of my hands. And then I just casually walk to the safe. And eventually, just about the time you get to the safe, rampage mode will be over, like right now. And of course, he's got to shut up long enough for you to get to the locker. And you always have to hack it. And you got to wait for him to shut up here so that you can start hacking. Okay, once you start hacking, I always look at the first two numbers. I look to see what the number is, obviously, that I'm looking for. It's, okay, I look at 95.04. So I start looking down here for 95.04. And once I find it, which bam, it's right there. I don't even have to move. Bam. I didn't even have to move my cursor or anything at all. And then once it does that, you can go back to the safe and open up the gun locker or whatever you want to call it. And this is kind of weird too. Your guy opens it up. It should just automatically get the stuff, but for some reason you have to walk pretty much all the way into it. I don't know why. And then that way you can get it. I run through here a lot of times just because the quicker you do it, the faster you get it done. I hit the Q button right here to go to the roof, which makes it look like my guy's ducking, but it's actually the button you just go to the roof. Hurry up and jump on the oppressor because as you can see, the helicopters are coming. I always take off and I go toward my yacht that's out here. I got hit a little bit, but you can turn on smoke if you have it and kind of dissuade them a little bit. But anyway, I start right about here. I'll call in the Kasaka. I'll go to service vehicles, Kasaka, and then request Kasaka, and it'll pull it down here off of Vespucci Beach, which makes it a lot quicker for me to get to it because it's a lot closer over here. Make sure you never dive like that above the water itself because it will dive right into the water and you'll have to call Morse Mutual to get your oppressor back, etc., etc. Anyway, here comes the Kasaka spawning up. Okay, now you want to be kind of careful the way you park on this. I at least for me anyway, you go over this first hump right there, and then you kind of hit that second hump. Wait till you come back off that, and then get off of it. Otherwise, I've seen it to where I've bumped it or something, and it will actually vibrate off the Kasaka, and then you have to get a boat and go back to shore and everything else, and call the insurance, etc., etc. Plus, it's a little bit quicker to go through this door than it is to try to land the Sparrow back in the moon pool. Okay, once you come in here, you go back to the heist board again, obviously, and go to equipment. Don't worry about the demolition charges right there. I've never even used those. I've went and done the mission before, but even though it says mandatory, it is not mandatory. You only need the plasma cutter, the fingerprint cloner, and the cutting torch. That's the only three you need. It may say mandatory on demolition charges, but it is not. So choose the plasma cutter, or whichever one you want to do first. That's the one I always do first. Go right back up this ladder you came in. So you come out and spawn right beside your oppressor. Get back on it. And that's my yacht over there that I have, which I just started using not too long ago. Anyway, turn, go towards your destination, and once you get over to this safe house, there's a trick to this safe house too, which is kind of funny. When you get to the safe house, you actually don't have to walk all the way to the planning board to take a picture. You can actually just walk straight in the front door, take a picture, send it to Pavel or Pavlov or whatever his name is, and then you don't have to walk through the whole thing. You just take a picture and pretty much walk right back out. Okay, we're almost there now. Right in there. Okay, like I said, walk in this door. There's never anybody in here ever, not during this mission anyway. Pull up your phone. Just take a picture right from where you spawn inside the door. And then bam, you can send it to Pavel or Pavel or however. Now, you want to walk towards this desk, just about to it, and then turn around and go back to the door. Otherwise, you can't get out the door as easy. Now I'm actually ahead of Pavel or whatever his name is talking. So I've got to wait for him to find the location of the plasma cutter. Once he does, he'll show you on the map where it is. There we go. Now just fly over to where it is and start on the next part of the mission. I'm going to come up a little bit up in the air, and then I'm going to hit the e-brake because it gets me there faster. Like I said, you go from like 108 to 130 miles an hour just by lowering those wings. Okay. Which mission is it? Oh, yeah, okay. All right, so now this is where having this comes in handy for me. I've actually never even seen anybody do this. As far as I know, I'm the only person. I'm sure there's somebody else that does this, but I don't want to have to get off of this and fight everybody. I want to do this quicker. So as long as you have missiles enabled on your oppressor, this becomes so much easier. You basically just start firing. I think I said fart. You start firing missiles into there, and then you just drive in there and get the plasma cutter and leave. As simple as this. Let's hope it works out like I'm hoping anyway. Fire a bunch of missiles in there, kill everybody. You get in there, you get the plasma cutter, you turn around, my guy's on fire, but life will go on. Ah, if I can get out of the place. There we go. The fire should go out, and then just head back to your sub. It's that simple. I didn't have to get off. I didn't have to fire a gun one single time other than the missiles, obviously. Boom, hit a guy. And then come right back up the Kasaka. I mean, like I said, this is on Vespucci Beach, so it made it a lot quicker because that's right beside Vespucci Beach. That makes this mission short. Come right back to the Kasaka again, pull up on it exactly like we did the last time. Go over this first hump right here, and then park. And then that way, and always be careful not to bump into the bike as you get off of it because, like I said, it can vibrate all the way off, and then you got to respawn, and it's a pain in the ass. And then, boom, that mission's over and done that quick. That's one of the reasons why I say using the oppressor is faster, because you can just pull right in there, get what you need, and get out. I don't normally catch on fire in there, but I did this time. Didn't hurt nothing. Okay, go back to equipment again. Now we're on the fingerprint cloner. Now, when we go to the safe house place for this in the first place, there will be some guys to fight, and I'll show you a little trick to get through that quick as well. Okay, get back up here, get back on the oppressor. And once we do, we fly over here. Now this is a little bit of a more flight through here or whatever, because you are a little bit further away. It's not too bad though. I mean, the oppressor makes quick work of pretty much everything to me. Some people, like I said, some people say the Sparrow's faster doing all this. I don't believe so myself. Or did I say the Sparrow? Yeah. I believe for, like I said, for the second half of all these missions, I use the oppressor because it's just quicker. If you climb up a little ways first and then hit your e-brake and it folds those back wings in, you can just go faster. I'm all about doing it quick. Money is time, right? And time is money. Okay. We're almost there. And I'll show you what I'm talking about there, because like I said, there's little tricks to all this. They get you through everything a little bit quicker. Come down here to street level to where you gotta go. Okay. And basically, he always tells you, oh, take out the cameras, do all that. I don't. I just go up here, get my AP pistol ready, and I just go straight in the door. And then I duck immediately to the left and hide behind this box. Once you do that, you can do the peek method. For me, it's just using the W key to look up, and as you see, it gets that white dot. And once it's on somebody, just squeeze the trigger one time, boom, there it goes, straight headshot. Same thing with this guy, boom, headshot. There should be two guys over here, but I'm not seeing them. They're not poking out yet. One guy should poke out. There he goes. What? Okay, well, if he doesn't hurry, there we go. Of course, that shot didn't kill him. And anyway, this is where I then go into first-person mode, because if you go into first-person mode, it's actually easier to shoot the guys. For me, anyway. Oh, I'm surprised that one shot actually killed that guy. Alright, and then I go back out of first-person mode, put the gun away. And you don't have to do all that, but it's just what I do. And this is the easiest hack ever. You just hit it as they come along. It's so easy. I wouldn't even call it hacking. It's more like matching. Anyway, then run out of here. And then this is literally the easiest mission pretty much of all. Because you just take care of those guys real quick. Get back on your oppressor. And then just fly to the next location, which they try to make it out like, oh, you gotta hurry, you gotta hurry. You don't have to hurry. I mean, you only want to hurry once you get back outside. After you fetch the key card. And there's, I mean, it's not really a trick, but the key card is always on one of three tables, and they're always the three tables at the very far back of it. Trying to decipher where it's leading me to exactly. Sometimes it takes you under the highway. I don't think that's this one. This one might be taking me all the way to Vespucci Beach to the pier, is what it's appearing to be. Pun intended. Yeah, it looks like we're going all the way to the pier, which is cool. I mean, it might be a little bit of a travel from the safe house we just went to the pier, but as you can see, my sub's over there on the left, so we're going to be really close to it. It's going to be really quick to finish the mission. And it is. It's at the pier. Okay, I should have hit that space bar to do that, but anyway. Okay, I turn around so I'm already facing the direction I need to go. You can do it however you want. Basically, just running here. You don't need any weapons. There's no enemies. And he's like, oh, you must hurry, blah, blah, blah. But you don't. It doesn't matter how long it takes in here. Once you come out, the bad guys are still going to come. But anyway, run past all these tables on the left, down to the last area right here. And it's either going to be on this table, that table, or that table. And it was on that one. So, and then you don't even have to touch anything or nothing. You just run by it and it automatically picks it up. And the only reason I'm even running right now is because, like I said, you don't have to. I just do it because I want to go faster. That's all. Come back out. Jump on the oppressor, and just fly right out into the ocean right across from here. It's so simple, so easy. And there's my submarine right there. Be careful not to dive into the water, like I said earlier. You don't want to lose the oppressor. That sucks when that happens. Anyway, pull right back up onto the Kasaka, like we have been doing the last couple of times. You always want to try to have that thing right in the middle of all that, so it doesn't vibrate off. Anyway, go back in here again. And now we're going to do the very last one, which is the cutting torch, which will take you to one of 3 or 4 different construction sites to get it. I believe there's 3, but it might be 4. Anyway, go back to prep, go to equipment, go down the last one, cutting torch. This is the last part of it right here. It's that simple. I mean, what has it been, like 20 minutes tops? I mean, it doesn't take very long. Come back up here. It depends on which construction site I go to. On some of them, I will actually shoot all the guys with the missiles from the oppressor first. Other ones, I will actually, like, sneak, get the hard hat and sneak, which I think this is going to be the hard hat sneaky one for me. Because if this one's the construction on top of the building right next to Maze Bank, yeah, I think it is going to be. Let me see. Yeah, it is. Okay, this is my favorite one because it's so easy. There's no fighting involved or anything. You just fly up here to the top of the construction building. Now it's getting dark on us. And then just park, get the hard hat, etc., etc., and then you can just literally walk, find it, and then leave. It's that simple. As long as nobody sees you. Every now and then somebody will see you, and then you have to fight, but most of the time they don't. Me, myself, I land right around here because the hard hat is right there on that stack of lumber. So I usually just park the bike like right here. There's a hard hat right there, as you see. You'll have to walk up to it twice. You walk up to it once, walk away from it for a second, turn around, walk up to it again, then you can put it on. I don't know why they make you do that, but they do. And then you just basically, you can walk, run. Just don't run into any of the actual security guards because they will kill you. But go down here and you're looking for that cutting torch. So simple. Okay, be careful not to run into any of the guards. Okay, now, see that little green arrow right there? That's showing you, whoops, I'm not going to run into that guy. And see, they won't look at you twice unless you bump into them because of the fact you have a hard hat on, so supposedly you're disguised from them. I wait till he walks away. You look down inside of it, there's nothing. So then you look for the next one. Okay, that one doesn't have a green arrow, so it's not open. For another one, sometimes there's one over here. Yep, there's one. Look in that one. Nope, it's not there either. There's usually another one over here. Let's look in this one. Oh, lucky, it's right there. Okay, so you get that. Hopefully no guards see you do it. And as long as no guards see you do it, you can literally just walk right out of here. It's that simple. Walk right by the security guards, they don't even notice you. Go right back upstairs and leave. It's that easy. Like I said, one of the easiest missions in the whole thing, especially when it's this construction site. Get back on the oppressor, and then just fly back to your sub. Easy peasy. I love the way this city looks at nighttime up here. I'm not a city guy, I live out in the boondocks, but looking at the city, you know, all the lights and everything is really pretty. Okay. However, I will be choosing day mode for the actual heist because of visibility purposes. That's beside the point. Okay, I'm actually going to be cutting off the video after I get back inside here and everything because I've already done a video about doing the actual heist itself, so I don't need to redo it. I just wanted to show, you know, how you go through the heist setup quickly. Of course, once I park this here and then I go to actually start the heist, it's going to put the oppressor back in my garage. And once I get inside here, the construction hat will come off, the cowboy hat will go back on. Okay. See, there it went. Alright, looks like I'm starting to build up some money from my daily passive income stuff. Okay. And right now, boom, that's it. Now it's ready to do the actual heist. Click the button, and as you can see, the heist is ready to start. So there you go. There's the easiest, fastest method for me to show you how to do the heist setup that goes along with the heist. If you didn't already see it, you can go back and look at my last video I posted on YouTube, and it is actually showing how to go from here forward. Don't ask me why I did them backwards. I should have done the heist setup first, then the mission for Cayo Perico, but instead I showed how to do the Cayo Perico heist itself first, and then now I made a video showing how to do the setup. But it is what it is. Y'all have a good day.